hybrid athlete training.
Hybrid training.
Hybrid athlete.
Hybrid training.
Hybrid training.
Hello, and welcome to today's video. My name is Sandra, known as Gain_Strength_ on YouTube. And today we're going to be talking about the latest buzzword in the fitness space, which is hybrid training, hybrid athlete, hybrid fitness. But what is it? Let's talk about it. To keep it short, it's a form of fitness that mixes different forms of working out at the same time to improve your overall performance and health. Sometimes these forms of fitness don't necessarily support each other. For example, you're trying to improve your strength while also trying to get a PR in your 5K time. Examples of this could be a power lifter who's also a runner, your typical weightlifter who is also a cyclist. Just a couple of examples. We know that lifting weights is beneficial for you. It helps increase your muscle mass and strength. It improves your bone density. You have better joint health. You have increased flexibility and range of motion. It helps prevent disease, among other benefits. Now, we also know that endurance training such as cycling, running, rowing, swimming are also beneficial for you. It helps improve your cardiovascular health. It increases your stamina and energy levels. You have improved muscular endurance and helps reduce stress, among other benefits. So when we combine these both forms of fitness, we have an improved overall fitness. You have enhanced performance. There's also the variety aspect to it that keeps you engaged, and there's improved overall body composition. So why wouldn't we do this? Why wouldn't we combine both forms of working out to gain all these other benefits? Now, keep in mind that this concept of hybrid training, hybrid fitness, it's not new. It's been around for some time, but it's kind of the latest trend right now in the fitness space. And with that, there's also a lot of people hating on this hybrid fitness. But here's the thing, if this trend is getting people to move their body, it's getting people to not only improve their strength and their muscle mass, but also improve their cardiovascular health, why are we hating on this? Why are we gatekeeping this? I don't understand. Let's talk about some myths that surround the hybrid training, hybrid fitness. The first one is cardio kills your gains. Now, as I've said on my channel and on my social media channels before, this is something that I fell victim to. I thought that if I did any form of cardio, it would just make the little bit of muscle that I had gained disappear. And while there is some truth to this, in order to combat that, you just need to make sure that you are still lifting heavy in the gym. So just because you're endurance training, it doesn't mean that you can lower the intensity in the gym. You should keep up with that intensity. And also, you need to be eating enough to sustain the muscle mass that you already have. And you need to allow your body to recover. Because you are doing these two forms of fitness, this intense fitness style, you need to allow your body enough time to recover between the sessions. Now, another myth is that this form of training can lead to overtraining. Again, there is some truth to this, but just like if you were only lifting weights or only endurance training, it can lead to overtraining. However, if you're following a structured program that incorporates both your endurance training and your fitness training, it can help avoid overtraining. It will have you balance the intensity and the volume and recovery time, which, as we discussed, is very important. Also, there's this myth that it's too complicated for beginners, but if you think about it, any form of fitness is going to be a little bit complicated, a little bit hard to learn at the beginning when you're just starting off. So the same goes for hybrid training, but over time you can progress. You should be challenging yourself little by little. So you should start off slow and keep your current fitness level in mind when you're switching to this hybrid training style. And another myth that also comes along with this, that you can't have specific goals since you're trying to be proficient in multiple forms of fitness. Now, a way to combat this is have your programming in phases. if you're someone like me who lives in Minnesota, maybe I'm going to focus on my running during the summer months, and then during the winter months, I might focus more on what I'm doing inside the gym, trying to progress my strength, my muscle mass. And so I would just kind of work my goals during those phases. So while I'm focused on running, what I do in the gym is just going to be stable. It's going to be something constant that's there, that I'm still doing it, but maybe it's not as intense since maybe I'm prepping for a race, for a half marathon or a marathon. Whereas during the winter, maybe my running has just lowered a little bit in terms of intensity or distance or whatever the case might be, so that I can progress inside of the gym. But you can have multiple fitness goals at the same time. Now, if you've been following me here on my YouTube channel, which hit the subscribe button if you aren't subscribed yet, or if you've seen my social media channels, then you know that for the last year or so, I've been consistently running as well as weightlifting. Now, my running journey, or whatever you want to call it, started around COVID, which honestly I had forgotten about until I went back and looked at all my Strava activities from back then. And I realized that when the gyms shut down, I did switch over to running more, just because what else was I going to do during the shutdowns? But once the gyms opened back up, goodbye running. I'm back to grinding in the gym, lifting the heavy weights. So running did kind of just go away. Again, maybe at that time I was still very focused on cardio kills your gains, so I didn't really prioritize or care to do any cardio. Then October 2022, I ran my first 5K race, which I prepped for maybe a month or so. So I was not at all prepped and ready to go for that race, but I still did it and it went pretty well. My goal after that race and through the winter was to keep up with my running, but like I said, I live in Minnesota and it gets cold. It gets freezing. It gets below 0 degrees here. So I was not going to be running outside in the winter. I thought that that was just going to be too much. And even in the gym, I tried to keep up with it, but to be honest, I just did not keep up with it. Then summer of 2023, I was like, you know what? I need something to challenge me. I need to try something different, because I've been weightlifting for so long that it just became part of my routine and just something that I do just because it's part of my daily habits. So it was just something that I just did just because I knew I had to do it, and I know that I should do it because it's good for me, but I wanted something different. I wanted to try something different. And so I thought, hey, let me give this running thing a chance. Let me actually try. Let me actually stay consistent. And I did do a race at the end of summer of 2023, which I don't know how I feel about summer races yet. It was way too humid. Then I did the same race in 2023 in October as the year before. And I've been running ever since, like I said, since maybe spring, early summer of 2023. And I've been running consistently. I've been weightlifting consistently. I've still been hitting PRs in the gym, which has always been something that I want to keep up with. And I've been kind of had that honest conversation with myself and said, hey, if my performance in the gym starts decreasing, I'm going to have to lower the intensity of running, because for me, weightlifting will be my main thing. Running is just something supplemental, something in addition to. So I have been weightlifting, I have been hitting PRs. I run 3 times a week and I weightlift 5 times. So Tuesdays and Thursdays are a 2-session day. I do my running and my upper body, and then Saturday I do my long run, and then I do 2 leg days a week, and that last day I do a kind of a functional fitness style of working out. And that's just been working for me, and I've like I said, I've really enjoyed it. So I know that hybrid training is possible if I've made so much progress in just 1 year. So just know that it is possible. But if it is something that you want to start doing, you want to start implementing more of a hybrid style of working out, here are some things that you can do to kind of help you get started. The first thing is you need to set a goal. Why are you doing this? Why do you want to start doing this? What do you want to focus on? What will be your forms of exercise? What is going to be shaping your hybrid fitness? Is it going to be running and weightlifting? Are you going to be weightlifting and maybe you want to start cycling or swimming? What is that going to be for you? And more specifically, if you're someone who maybe you already go to the gym and maybe you're not just the best runner out there, which is my case. So right now I'm trying to kind of improve my running since I'm okay with the gym. I know what to do at the gym. I'm comfortable with the gym. So I'm focusing right now on my running. Maybe that's something that you want to do as well. Or maybe instead of running, like I said, you're trying to do cycling or swimming and you're okay with what you're doing at the gym. You're consistent with that. That's something that has become a daily habit. Focus on these other things. Maybe that's where you want to set up your goals at. The next thing is you need to plan your schedule and be realistic. How many times a week can you commit to this? How many times a week are you going to be doing your endurance training? How many times a week are you going to be doing your weightlifting? You can have like the best intention and everything, but if you're not realistic to the other things that are going on in your life, you're not going to be consistent. You're going to start slacking off. So be realistic. The next thing is to create a balanced program. Have a structured hybrid program that allows you to recover between sessions. Don't just wing it, because then you can overtrain. It can lead to injuries. And honestly, your workouts may not be as effective and efficient as if you did have a structured program. Or better yet, just hire a coach that can help you with your goals. The next thing up is going to be monitor and adjust. While some discomfort or soreness is likely, hey, you're trying something new, there's going to be soreness, you're not going to be used to it, your body is not used to these different forms of exercise. So that's going to happen, expect that. But if you feel any type of pain or discomfort or just something that's just there and not going away, maybe you need to readjust. Maybe you need to monitor that and scale back a little bit. And lastly, have fun. You shouldn't think of it as a form of punishment or a forum to burn as much calories as possible. No, keep it interesting, keep it fun, and try different ways of working out. If you typically run and weightlift, maybe weightlift and cycle for a week. Try something new. You never know what you might end up liking or enjoying. So if you're ready to jump on the board for hybrid fitness, you have followed the steps I just mentioned, you should also keep in mind a couple of things. The first thing that you should keep in mind is that you need to listen to your body. Like I have mentioned, it's easy to overtrain. You get excited and you start doing too much too soon and you end up injured or your recovery is lacking. So just listen to your body and adjust as needed. Like I mentioned, monitor and adjust. And focus on your form. Regardless whether you're running, you're cycling, you're swimming, lifting weights, make sure you do some research on form to avoid getting injured and to maximize the effectiveness of your workouts. Hydration and nutrition. Make sure you're properly fueling yourself and hydrating, especially during warm months. Because you're burning a lot more calories when you're doing all these different types of working out, you need to make sure that you're still properly fueling yourself, because it can lead to problems that we do not want, like muscle loss. So remember to hydrate, especially before and after your sessions. And you need to stay consistent. If you want to see progress, you have to be consistent, which again, is why you need to be realistic with your schedule. Now, when you start off, yes, it might be hard. It might be a little bit difficult for you to get used to this new schedule, but stay consistent, build on the habit. You will start to see and feel progress. Another thing to keep in mind is that you need to gradually progress. Just like if you were lifting weights and you progressively overload week to week to week, the same goes with hybrid style of training. You don't just start with squatting 95 pounds one week and then jump to 200 pounds the next week. You should slowly build up to that 200-pound squat. Same concept with hybrid training. Don't try to go from not running at all to running a half marathon the next week once you decide to start this hybrid training. Gradually build your endurance and your resistance. And recovery is important. You need to have the right recovery tools in place. Spend more time stretching or do a mobility sequence on your rest day. Use some foam rollers or a massage gun. Schedule a massage or other tools to help alleviate muscle soreness, and also adapt to changes. Life happens and sometimes you just can't get your workout in, and that's okay. Remember to be flexible and adapt when life happens. And as soon as you're able, get back on schedule. If you can't do your 10 miles of cycling one day, maybe split it up between the week or just change it to a different day when you know you'll be able to. So if you have any questions on hybrid training, let me know down in the comments or on my social channels. You can always send me a DM. And don't be afraid to change the way that you work out. You never know what you might fall in love with if you don't give it a shot. Be consistent and start seeing and feeling changes. And if you enjoyed this video, do all the YouTubey things. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed, and I will catch up with you guys in the next video. And don't forget, you're stronger than your mind lets you think.